Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Sutton and I'm a self-published author of 3 books that are soon to be 4. The latest one is titled Can't Catch My Breath, and I'll leave the links down below to pre-order it. The signed paperback pre-order should be live today. The normal paperback pre-order, not yet because your girl hasn't finished her final edits. Soon. I will definitely let you guys know when it does go live. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, you would not know that this is not our normal setup. I don't ever film in my bedroom, mostly because there's usually people at my house. And there's still people in the house today, but it's freezing outside and I didn't feel like logging? What is the word that I'm trying to find? I didn't feel like going all the way out to my shed to freeze my butt off for 20 minutes and then come back inside. So that's why we are in my bedroom today. It's kind of like a cozy sit down, get comfy with me kind of video. I plugged in some twinkle lights and I have them draped, albeit a little awkwardly, around my bed, but it's fine. I've been really sick all day today, so I was debating on even filming a video, but then I'm like, I don't want to like leave you guys hanging without an explanation. And I'm like, what would I even talk about? You know, I was kind of struggling with that idea. So I feel like it's been a while since I really sat down and talked about my self-publishing journey, my writing journey, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I wanted to do today. I haven't really sat down and like recapped my writing journey for anybody who is new here since I've last talked about it. It's been a hot minute. I know I share snippets here and there in vlogs, but nothing has been a sit-down video like this in a long time, so I figured it could be fun to just sit down and chat. I don't know why I'm so awkward today. I think it's because I'm in my bedroom and I'm not used to it. I mean, I vlog in my bedroom all the time, so I don't know. Either way, if you're curious about my writing journey and self-publishing journey and then my books, when we'll be talking a bit about these as well, stay tuned and don't forget to leave a like on this video and let's hop into it. Okay, so if you did not know, I am Sarah Sutton. I write young adult romance. And I've been writing, not in that genre, but I've been writing since I was in the 1st grade. So I'm thinking that's like age 6 or 7. I don't know ages. I've always been saying 6 in my head, but I don't know if it's 7. Either way, I've been writing for a very long time. I started out writing Gingerbread Man fan fiction, which is me, just a 7-year-old or 6-year-old, writing about Gingerbread Man going on his own adventures, you know. So from there, we kind of evolved just a smidge into writing teenage romances. So think To All the Boys I Loved Before, think any Casey West book. I feel like I'm in that category. The year 2020 is the first year that I've ever published anything at all. It was so daunting going into it, and I'm so bummed that I actually didn't vlog that starting out. I wish I had started my YouTube channel in January of 2020, but I actually didn't start it until April of 2020. So those months I wish I had documented because I feel like that my first book being out was just so awesome, and I really wish I had those memories to look back on, but we didn't start until April. I have a video where I talk more about my publication process and why I did choose to ultimately self-publish my books. I will leave that linked somewhere. It's down below up in the cards somewhere. But I ended up self-publishing because I was in conversation with a publishing company, traditional publishing company. They're pretty well known too. I was in conversation with them for over a year. We were going back and forth on edits I can make to my book, different title ideas because they weren't too sold on it. Initially, this was out of my league, and initially it was titled Hitting a Home Run, which I agree with them. It did need to be changed. I think Hitting a Home Run's cute, but Out of My League fits it so much better. We were back and forth in communications for a year. I think a little over a year, and then they ultimately decided that they didn't want to accept my manuscript. So imagine a very sad and very heartbroken Sarah Sutton, just very, very wallowy, you know. And I took a publishing course called Publish and Thrive by Sarah Cannon, and it completely changed my outlook. I was really wary of self-publishing, not because of all the stigma that you hear, but mostly because I know myself. I love ideas, like I love big ideas, but they quickly fall on the wayside. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I mentioned this in one of the videos where I wanted to start a t-shirt company on Etsy. And like, okay, why? Am I passionate about t-shirts? I might have been at the time. I have these desires, these fun ideas, and then they slowly trickle off. And I was really afraid that I would self-publish a book and then it flop, or I don't do enough marketing for it and then it just totally crushed my dream, you know? I think that was a major fear of mine, that I wouldn't be self-disciplined enough, and if I did self-publishing, I was really afraid that it would totally tank my love of writing. Little did I know it'd be the exact opposite. The month where I decided to self-publish was, I think it was August 2019. I had one book already that was pretty close because I knew I wanted to put Out of My League on the back burner, because after that publishing company said no after a year, I was devastated. I was heartbroken. I didn't want to look at the dang thing. It was just gonna be in the back end of my computer, never to see the light of day until I was ready. So I did have a different manuscript that was kind of further along in the process, and that was called What Are Friends For? So I had been working on this book since April of 2019, I think. 2019. I'm pretty sure it was 2019. I know I've said it before in a blog or in a video, so if I am wrong, I've said it right before at some point. I think it's 2019 though. This was pretty far along. I really just initially started to write this for fun. This was it actually started off as a paranormal romance, if you can believe it. The protagonist, her name was Riley, and her parents died and she had to find Elijah, and it was just a whole thing. No, it's crazy. It was not good. But I had the idea. I liked the best friends to lovers element. Like in the book, this paranormal romance book, they were previously like best friends, and then they had to split up because supernatural forces kept them up, you know, all the drama that is associated. We love. But it was poorly written. And I had the idea that I wanted to keep going with the friends to lovers mindset. So I decided to take that plot, you know, turn the parents back into living parents and go from there. And that's kind of where this book came from. So yeah, even though I technically wrote Out of My League first, this is still my debut novel, and it's really crazy because today that I'm filming this is December 6th, and this time last year I was gearing up to release this bad boy in January of 2020. So January 14th is when this came out. So almost a year old. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I reread it not that long ago, maybe a few months ago. And it was just so fun to just fall back in love with every aspect of this book. The main character, the love interest, the drama, the friendship, the parents, you know. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Play, Kobo, and Apple Books. And it's also available as a paperback. Yeah, so this is a friends lovers romance, and it was really fun to launch this. I think it's crazy to think of how far we've come since releasing this bad boy. I'm gonna be doing a video really soon about my year in review self-publishing wise, and in that video I'm gonna go over all the costs it took to self-publish all 3 of these books. So I'm gonna do the self-publishing costs and share that with you guys to just see how much I did spend on 3 books in 1 year. You know, I think that'd be really interesting to talk about, and to talk about what I would do differently, what I would do the same, that kind of thing. So keep an eye out for that video. I'm really excited to film it. So I published this book in January, and then in February and March it kind of took off. March was like a really good month for this book. It really did take off, this book did, which kind of blows my mind when I think about it, because I don't know what I did marketing wise March and April. And I also think it could have been too because of shutdown and everybody was home and reading books, and that could be why this took off as well as it did. So that's just luck on my end of things. But April and March were 2 great months for this book. And in April, I was reached out to by a audiobook company, and they wanted to make the audiobook of What Are Friends For? And so if you are an audiobook listener, you can definitely go over to Amazon or wherever you buy your audiobooks and check this bad boy out as an audiobook. I was so really grateful that this company wanted to pick up the audiobook. I didn't want to pick up the other ones, which is totally fine, but I still have 1 book that's an audio, so that's pretty crazy. So skipping over May, we jump into June, and June is when I released my 2nd book, titled Out of My League. So I filmed a lot of videos about this book. It was a journey getting to this point. I wrote this book May of 2017. It was the month the month before I graduated high school. So I was feeling really nostalgic and bittersweet. And the way I stuck to it is I wrote a book about it. Not about my high school, just like, you know, this is what launched me into young adult romance. This is my very first attempt at a young adult romance. Before I kind of was writing like angels and stuff like that. So this really was my break into young adult romance and high school romance. Even though I already did love to read them, it was me graduating high school and I was like, well, high school, not gonna miss it really, but maybe I can create a book about it so if I ever do miss it, I can go back and like give me all the high school vibes. And that's what I did. So this book is a fake relationship romance. It revolves around Sophia, who is writing an article on the baseball team because they're a little sketchy baseball team, and she wants to expose them and their dirty habits for what they are. And to do this, she gets close to the team captain, which his name is Walsh, and they start a fake relationship based on mutual benefits. The story kind of just hits the ground running from there. I loved this book. I loved the evolution of this book. I will say by the time it was ready to publish, I was so done working on it because they've been working on it for a very long time, and it went through so many edits that it just blows my mind. The editor that I was working with was showing me how to do it, and that kind of helped me find my groove to find the finished product of that book. So even though that situation didn't come out the way I was hoping it would, I am still really grateful for that whole experience. I think all in all, it was definitely worth it because it got a fun little baseball fake relationship romance out of it. And now it's self-published and out in the world. Also linked down below, also available at Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Books, ebook and paperback edition. So published that in June, and then we had July, August, and then September before my third and final release for 2020, which is If the Room Fits. So you can see this book is so much littler than my other ones. So this is a novella, and I wrote it last October because I really just wanted to write something Halloween-y and fall and fun, and I've never written like a holiday anything before, so it was really interesting to kind of play my hand at it and see how it would go. I had the characters before I even had the plot, so that was a little bit tricky for me, but I think it came together so fun, so nicely. Blair is a little bit bratty. She's brattier than Sophia and Remy, but I feel like it's a kind of, I would say this. It's a good bratty. It's a realistic bratty. She's been through some crap in her life, but she's still so strong and so comes out of it, you know. She's growing as a person and she's learning more, which I feel like ultimately is something that's really awesome to read in YA. Seeing the main characters not be perfect. You know, they don't make the right decisions. They push people away. They're angry. They're upset. Sometimes they're selfish. Like, I love seeing the internal elements. Like Blair, she's bratty, but she has her mechanisms of pushing people away. But we also see how that affects her. The plot of this book is Blair hates Halloween, and her ex-boyfriend that she recently broke up with is trying to change her mind about hating the holiday. And we don't really know why Lucas and Blair broke up to begin with. We just know they're broken up. We don't know what happened. Lucas doesn't even know what happened because Blair is trying to internalize all these feelings and shove them down. When she's upset and shoves things down, it just makes her on edge, a little bit bitter, you know. It creates a brew of negative emotions that she has to deal with, and I think that's really, is it really bad that I'm going to say this in my book? But I think it's refreshing to see main characters kind of, you know, not get it right all the time, to be kind of bratty and annoying and like, come on girl, stop it, you're being selfish, you're being frustrating. But this was a fun book to write. It was kind of, I wanted it to be a little bit more lighthearted than it actually came out to be, but I love the end product because even though it could have been a lighthearted Halloween book, I think it really does tackle something that's fun and different for me. These first two books were very lighthearted and sweet, and this one kind of has a bit of a more stronger family element that's a little bit tough. I liked writing it, I enjoyed writing it, and that was my third and final release for 2020. This book is also available as an ebook and a paperback on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, Kobo Books, and Google Play. So I'll leave the universal links for all 3 of these books down below in case you want to get your copy. Maybe you know somebody who would love a Halloween romance. I mean, who wouldn't? I'll leave that linked down below in case you want to send it for a holiday gift. Or just, you know, buy it for yourself and binge read. This is such a bingeable book, I swear. But yes, these are my books for 2020 that I published. I published all 3 of these books in 2020. It's absolutely insane. People ask me all the time how I publish so fast. And I will say, I wrote these 2. Actually, I wrote all 3 of these. All 3 of these were written before this year. I wrote this one last year, and it's short. I wrote this one for the first time in 2017, and I wrote this one last year in April in 2019 in April. I didn't draft any of these books this year, so that probably has something to do with it as well, but I'm also a very fast writer. For Nano this year, I think I wrote 80,000 words. So from there, what I do is like do the editing, beta reading, copy edits, proofreads, that kind of thing, and then the book's done. What I've learned about myself is that I typically, I'll stress that word, I typically have a very solid view of where I want my books to go. It might deviate. It could deviate a ton, but I still have a pretty strong idea of where I want it to go, and it's not hard for me to kind of just follow that path when I write it. So it doesn't take me too long to write a full-length book like this. Next year, I'll go over my next year goals in a video coming up towards the end of the year, and it might even be in the new year. Those are my 3 books that I published in a year. That is my self-publishing timeline for the year of 2020. I literally can't believe 2020 is almost over and like my first year of self-publishing is underneath my belt. It's freaking insanity. This time last year, this was a dream. I was wanting this published so flippin' badly. But now, it's out in the world, you know? It's out, this is out in the world, this is out in the world, and this is out in the world. Wow. Like I said in the beginning, I kind of wanted to just make this video in case you did not know, in case you're new here and you wanted to learn a little bit more about my self-publishing process this year. I did publish 3 books in 1 year, and I cannot wait for next year. Hopefully we can publish 4. How insane would that be? How insane. I'm excited. A lot of lovely and amazing people in the writing community have really pushed me on, and I honestly wouldn't be anywhere without my Instagram family and without my YouTube family, Patreon, Facebook, Twitter. You guys, like, I swear I wouldn't be anywhere. This book, I believe, is sitting at 135 reviews. This book is sitting at, I believe it's 85 reviews. And this book is sitting at 51 reviews. Like, I wouldn't be anywhere close to those numbers without you amazing people in my life reading these books, and I'm just so grateful you're here and reading them, and I'm so happy that you're enjoying them, that they touch your heart and you're along with me on this journey and on this ride. I think it's really fun. I can't wait for Can't Catch My Breath to come out. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that one as well. I'm in the throes of final edits. That sounds really gross. I don't like that. I'm in the final stages of the final edits, so we're getting close, guys. We're getting close, and I'm just so excited about it. Today, I think we're 50 days away from the launch day, and right now I really am hoping to hit 50 pre-orders. So if you want to pre-order your ebook copy, it would make my day. It's only $3.99, and the release day is January 26th. So it's coming up. 50 days. Anyway, guys, thank you for sitting down with me and getting cozy with me and talking about my books with me and my journey. And I may not have explained anything too well. I want to do a Q&A again soon so I can actually answer your guys' questions. So if you do have any questions, please leave them down below and I'll make sure to answer them in an upcoming Q&A. If you have any questions on my books, my publishing journey, my writing life, let me know and I'll definitely answer them. Yes, that is all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to scroll down and tap that like button. It really helps out my channel, and comment down below whether you want to pursue self-publishing, traditionally publishing, or do you want to be a hybrid author and you want to do both. I'm really curious what your answer will be. And I'm excited to follow you on your publishing journey because I am so grateful you've been following me on mine. I can't wait to return the favor and see you knock it out of the park. After all, what are friends for? I don't really know what I would say for this one. Because I know the broom fits and you're gonna rock it. That was really bad. I can't figure out a fun pun for this one, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. My babies, my book babies, we had a great year. Crap. Hey, what's up? Oh, I got something on my head? I don't think so. That was so cool. But wait, I got it. Because I know you don't need a magical snow. Wait. Because you don't need magic potions to... Yeah. Was that video interesting? I hope it was.